Okay, welcome everyone to the Windermere Candidates Forum, and this is our, I think we're up to our sixth forum now, out of a total of 9. It's been a great week of digital democracy on 94.7 The Pulse. Windermere ward is made up of 700 kilometres, so it's the biggest ward of the city of Greater Geelong, and the number of voters, 33,521 at the last election. Windermere ward elects 2 councillors, and I'm very pleased to say that here to answer your questions today, we have Enamuel Hake, Kylie Grizzlebeck, Monique Connell, Sarah Hathaway as well. And Anthony Aitken said he was coming. He doesn't seem to have arrived yet, but when he arrives, we'll let him have his say as well. The structure of today's forum is the same as all the others that we've been running so far. So there'll be 2 minutes of opening statements from each candidate. Then we'll have questions from our audience, and we'll cap each of the candidate answers at 2 minutes, and then 2-minute closing statements. And as with all of our forums, the computer will choose the order that the candidates speak in, come up on the screen. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into our opening statements from each of the candidates. And listed first is Anthony Aitken, but he doesn't seem to be here, so we'll move on to Sarah Hathaway.
Thank you. I would like to acknowledge that I live on Wadawurrung country and pay my respects to their ancestors and elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to thank Pulse FM and Mitchell for hosting today's forum. My name is Sarah Hathaway. I live in Norlane with my partner and 2-year-old daughter. I grew up in Geelong, where I've attended school, TAFE and university. I believe areas like Norlane and Corio are underserviced and ignored. And this is initially what prompted me to run. However, during the campaign, this has been confirmed by walking the streets of Norlane, Corio and Lara, where basics like footpaths, tree coverage, other vegetation and park infrastructure just aren't there. I currently work as an organiser in the health sector, and I'm a member of Socialist Alliance. Socialist politics at local council level, for me, mean politics based on community activism. This is something I've witnessed in Moreland, Yarra and Fremantle councils, where the only way to win issues that local residents care about is by organising in the community and by the community organising on their own behalf. This could be for relatively small asks like addressing road safety issues by installing pedestrian crossings, or it could be around bigger issues like new developments and projects that we need funding for. I think to be an effective councillor, you have to work like a good union delegate. You have to take up people's everyday issues as well as the bigger picture issues in the same way that a good union delegate on the job would. It's only by organising in our communities that we can run campaigns and get what it is that we need for Windermere Ward. And I'd like the opportunity to do that if elected. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Up next, we have Monique Connell.
Thank you, Mitchell. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge that I work and live on the lands of the Wadawurrung people and acknowledge past, present and emerging leaders. And I'd like to thank Pulse FM and Mitchell for having me on. My name is Monique Connell. I live in Bell Park with my husband and 2 young children, and I currently work at the TAC in the CBD, although I'm working from home currently. I have a degree in architecture, a master's in education and postgraduate training in injury prevention and management, and I've worked across a number of industries from education to design to allied health. I have experience in community engagement, stakeholder engagement, and whilst I've not held a position in council, as the previous CEO of St Vincent de Paul Children's Services, I have experience in working with people from every area of the community, including those with disability. I'm passionate about climate change, obviously, but I'm just a regular person. I'm trying to make a difference. I still drive a car, have a phone, wear shoes, but what I want people to realise and understand is that climate activism is not separate from any other part of our lives. It's intrinsic and it's built into what we need to do in terms of social activism. It's not just for something for people who have the time and money to devote for it. It's ensuring the future for all of us is positive. Now, the Windermere Ward has been especially hit hard by COVID, with youth unemployment currently at 20% and significant disengagement from education system through the lockdown for the young people. Both state and federal government have been announcing and will be announcing infrastructure investment to kickstart our economy. And this is something Geelong needs to be at the front of the queue for. Geelong Council needs to focus on building a strong local economy, creating jobs, providing legitimate pathways for our youth to access meaningful education and training, and this will be through investment in renewable energy infrastructure and supply, getting our hands on the $1 billion available in the Fed government's Recycling Modernisation Fund, promoting community gardening and engagement, and providing safe, reliable, efficient public transport in and around the region.
Thank you, Monique. That's your 2 minutes, but with only 5 candidates, there'll be plenty of opportunities to come in later on in the forum. We'll now go to Enamel.
Yeah, hi, Michelle. Thanks for giving the opportunity to talk about the past TV. At first, I want to acknowledge the Wadawurrung nations and respect to the elders, past, present, and future of the future leader of this land. My name is Haq. Recently, I am working as a research officer to RMIT University, Melbourne City Campus, and also I am the CEO of the local news media of Australia 24 News. Recently, I am resident of Corio, living with my wife and 4-year-old son. Due to my vast experience in professional and educational fields, I believe I'm one of the perfect candidates to help to improve the Windermere ward in the Greater Geelong City Council. I hold a PhD in chemical and biomolecular engineering from University of Sydney, and also contributing to the research nationwide in Australia as a research fellow at Deakin University, RMIT University, University of New South Wales, University of Wollongong, and many more. Diverse community and commercial relations are crucial to me. I am involved with my many community networks, including Geelong Chamber of Commerce, Sydney Press, International Chemical Engineers Community, and also editorial board member of the international journals. And also I possess the leadership experience from the previous president of the Sydney Press and Media Council, also the CEO of Australia 24 News. This experience would get help in my contribution to the Windermere ward to improve several sectors, including the enhancing the post-pandemic support of all residents, providing scientific and technological support to the struggling local farmer, introduce the new idea, local project and writing, and submit to the state federal government to bring funding to reduce the employment problem in Lara, Corio, Northland on northern side, and also improving the digitalization of the bus services and frequent bus services.
Thank you. That's your 2 minutes, but there'll be plenty of time, as we say, to come in later on in the forum. Thank you very much. Up next, we have Kylie Grizzlebeck.
Thank you, Mitchell, and I'd also like to acknowledge the Wadawurrung people, the traditional owners of the land on which I'm living at the moment. Pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. And thank you, Mitchell and the Pulse, for putting on these amazing forums for the community really to understand and get close to their councillors, definitely considering we're in COVID at the moment. It was a proud moment when I was elected to council back in 2017. I love the Windermere ward and I love the Geelong community, and I really enjoy making decisions, for our region and continuously getting this moving forward, the council to move forward and think about new ideas. As a councillor, I get a kick out of talking to the community on a wide range of topics, and you really get a sense of the reasons why people enjoy where they work and live and play. A little bit about me. I live in Lara. I'm mother of 2 teenagers. They both go to high school in Lara, and I'm a proud Lara Lake graduate, and I also went to Cry North High. And I think, we all know and we love, hopefully, where we live, and I'm real passionate about our area, which is the Windermere ward. We have very passionate residents and community groups in the Windermere ward, and if you didn't know that, then you haven't really been around. These communities and people are really passionate about their town and their things and their community, and that's just a testament to some of the things that we've been able to achieve with Anthony Aiken and myself in the last 3 years. As Monique said, I also work at the TAC, and I'm the Chief of Staff to the CEO, and I'm also presently the Secretary of the Lara United Football Club, which is the round ball football soccer. I'm also the former President of the School Council, the Lara Lake Primary School Council, committee member of basketball club previously. And look, I think just in terms of these 2 minutes, I think our deliverables over the past 3 years are testament to everything that we've done.
Thank you very much, Kylie. And I believe Anthony Aiken is now with us. Hello, Anthony. How are you? You'll just need to unmute yourself there.
Hello, Mitchell. And look, I've learned in the last 24 hours, I actually don't know IT as well as what I should.
This Zoom thing has been a steep learning curve for all of us, I think. So
I actually had the same problem last night. My laptop actually has a filtering thing that doesn't let me log into unsecure sites, and it actually was telling me that Mitchell Dye was an unsecured site, and I was in absolute panic. So I won't waste any more time on that because I'm actually here now. So look,
your opening statement.
Yeah, I'll do my 2 minutes. My name's Anthony Aiken. I'm a councillor of the City of Greater Geelong. I've represented the northern suburbs of Geelong for the last 3 years. Look, I'm passionate about my community that I represent. What's my background? Look, I've been involved in local government. This is my 4th term as a councillor. I first stood as a young 20-year-old on the Shire of Corio. I was involved in the first 2 super city after amalgamation. I actually am passionate about the local government level. I'm not interested in state and federal politics as much as people actually ask me, am I? I love local government. I love representing my community. I think over the last 3 years, I've met my commitments to fight for a fair share for the North. I mean, we've had multi-million-dollar opportunities. I'm actually very excited today because Sarah Henderson has actually said that the Northern Aquatic and Community Hub is actually a project that she is going to support under the federal government's budget program. That is a huge announcement today for us to receive for the northern suburbs, because now we just have to try and get state government on board for that project and actually deliver that $60 million project in the Norlane community. I work unitedly with the team with Kylie Gresbeck. We've formed a great relationship. If Kelly isn't re-elected, it would be disappointing. If I'm not re-elected, it would be disappointed. But I'm confident that the Northern Suburbs actually produces great representatives who are really in touch with their community. As Kylie's already said, we're an incredibly diverse community and we love where we live and who we represent.
Thank you very much, Anthony. We'll go to our questions now. And again, there is a speaking time limit of 2 minutes for each of the candidates. And Anthony mentioned the Northern Aquatic Centre and Hub. We've got a question that's come through about that, but it was previously known, of course, as the Northern Arc. And this person says, the Northern Arc is a project that has been put on the back burner for some time. How will you lobby state and federal government to secure funding for such a crucial project in the North? And listed first is Sarah Hathaway.
Thanks, Mitchell. That's a great announcement. Anthony, thanks for the news that we've finally got some federal support. So I live just around the corner from this site, so it would be my local pool where I hope to take my daughter if we can get that rebuilt. My approach to everything on council would be involving the community around community campaigns. And you know, I don't think we should take no from the state government or continue to be ignored. And to give you some local level examples, things around declaring a climate emergency on council, council's response to the goat farm, dealing with the Broderick Road tip, and there's other issues. These were addressed because the community got engaged and ran a campaign and said, this isn't good enough, we want more. That's what I would do as a councillor, is actually run a community campaign, get people involved and not take no for an answer from any level of government.
Thank you. Kylie Grisbeck.
Thank you for the question, Mitchell. And, you know, Sarah is right. The community is, you know, the key here. Look, we have tried and tried and tried and tried, and I'm open to anyone that can really assist in delivering this project. Look, we continue to press the state and federal government for these particular issues. This is $20 million of council money that is on the table right now. We have it in the budget. All we need is the help from the state and federal government. So maybe if they're watching, please support us. And it is great news that Sarah Henderson has come out and said that she thinks it is a worthwhile project. We just need to see the money in the bank, and we will get on and do it. And as Sarah has said, you know, it is a great facility for those that live just near there, but for the whole region, this is why we call it a regional project. There'll be plenty of people from all over the community that will use this great facility.
Thank you very much. Anthony Aitken.
Thanks, Mitchell. Look, this is the biggest investment that council has ever made outside of the CBD of Geelong, and that actually is fantastic because it's in our northern suburbs, which is not seen by the broader community as a place where you should actually be building your best aquatic facility, a place where you're building your best town hall, a place where you're building community allied health facilities, which are of a national standard. How do we lobby? Well, the reality is you've actually got to have good working relationships with the state and federal government. You have to remain bipartisan. And I think Kylie and I have a track record of being able to do that. Look, we have worked tirelessly with to get to the point where we are today with Sarah's announcement. And that has come from direct lobbying. We've probably had probably 6 meetings with Sarah personally with over this project over the last 3 years while we've been councillors. With the state, we actually probably have a meeting once every 3 months with the local member, John Aaron, to actually talk, and we raise this project. He gives us an outline of what he's actually been doing, and we tell him what we've been doing as well too. So not to underestimate the community's commitment and need to support these types of projects. It is also very important that the councillors have a capacity to have excellent working relationships with the state and federal colleagues to be able to get these. You're asking for state and federal money, you should have a relationship with the state and federal members to be able to do that.
Thank you very much. Monique Connell.
Thank you. Look, I wholeheartedly agree with what Anthony has said. You have to have a really good, close relationship with both state and federal. But like also Sarah said, it's important to listen to the community and have really good community engagement. And I think this post-COVID is a really good opportunity for the Geelong Council to really try and get ahead and get involved in as many of the infrastructure building projects that both the state and federal government are going to throw some money towards. And that includes the already agreed to jail. We want to secure jobs for people in the north in that jail. We also want a better healthcare system, building a northern hospital, accessing the Recycling Modernisation Fund, which is $1 billion worth of funding, which would likely be available. And if Geelong could be the world leader in doing that. An example is that Boris Johnson just today announced that the UK will be powered by wind power entirely. Every single home in the UK will be powered by wind power by 2030. This will create 600,000 jobs. So in terms of the ARC, I think we really need to just keep campaigning and lobbying and pushing for more infrastructure and more investment in Geelong, but particularly in the Windermere ward. The north has been overlooked for so long, and this is really a unique opportunity to build a stronger, more connected community through community health, including mental health, which is so vital. COVID has really impacted people's mental health, and having those facilities and that infrastructure and the resources there to support our community at this time is vital. We also need to focus on affordable housing, cheaper childcare, a better recycling system, and demanding jobs. So if we can create jobs,
Monique, that's your 2 minutes, but
yep,
as we say, don't worry, plenty of opportunities throughout the hour.
Sure.
Enamal Hake is up next.
Oh yeah, thanks, Michelle. Actually, for this question and for this session, already this topic already discussed. Kylie and Anthony clearly discussed about this issue. That's what we need to push or making good relation with the federal and state government to bring some money with solve the problem. Also, the Monique and Kylie mentioned that just we need to improve the community engagement to hear their voice and what's the problem need to solve. Also, we need to raise that some. We need to make some master planning design to solve any problem happening on this northern arc. So I think the good relationship with the state and federal government, good relationship with the community engagement or with the community leaders, and we have to listen to the voice and we have to solve the problem. So I think that's with us the councillor can do actually many things with this issue. And if whoever elected from us, then hope we'll work together and we'll collaborate with each others. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next question is from Trade Online, and it says, representing some of Victoria's most disadvantaged suburbs, how will you bring the North to the forefront and advocate for the North? And listed first is Kylie Grizzlebeck.
Thank you. And I think it goes back to the same question that we've had about the Northern Arc and the community hub. It's about the relationships that you have. But look, I think what we've always done is advocate on all issues. Well, hopefully on all issues, because some of these issues are necessarily a responsibility of other levels of government. But being an advocate for your community, you have to have a say on everything, and we will listen to the community about, addressing. I don't like the word disadvantage. Maybe that's just me, Mitchell, but this is the important part. Is you've got to be seeing where the issues are, making sure that you can identify those, and trying to get the right people around the table at that time to get the answers. There's no easy quick fix about it, but investing this sort of $60 million into the Northern Arc in that community is really important, because to get opportunities for people to even get hydrotherapy in the northern suburbs, you have to travel to Geelong. So this is a real opportunity where we see that we shouldn't have to travel to the central Geelong to get these facilities. They should be. The connection between the Barwon Health North and the new facility is exactly why we see that they can go to Barwon Health North, they can see their physician, they can see who they need to in terms of healthcare. They can just go next door and complete the treatment, complete the service, use the facility, and then they probably walk around the corner to go home. This is really important that we have these services right next to each other. And that's where I see connecting those dots and creating partnerships with the other levels of government is really important.
Thank you very much. Sarah Hathaway.
Thank you. Yeah, look, I agree. I think it also echoes sentiment from the last question. I think Windermere has a lot to offer. I mean, we're the gateway to Geelong if you're coming down from the metropolitan area. We had a lot of discussion at last night's forum about plans for the Yuyangs and a green belt and Serendip Sanctuary. We've now got access via the port. I've just had a blank. There's at the Spirit of Tasmania's coming to Geelong. I hope I haven't got that wrong. But again, that's in Windermere Ward. So, and if you think about all the industry, like a lot of our industry is actually centralised out in Windermere Ward. So we're actually contributing a lot to the economy of Geelong. But I feel like a lot of the focus of council as a whole, not just the last 3 years, but even going back, tends to be around the CBD. And it seems like we just go round and round in circles of every 6 months. There's some issue with the CBD. We've got to build this project. We're going to rip that project up. And it's interesting listening to the Cardinia Ward forum earlier that it just seems to be an issue across suburbia Geelong that if it's not within that sort of 8-block radius of the CBD, we haven't got traction. So again, it does come back to those community campaigns, and there are a lot of groups in Windermere Ward that are very passionate, are very engaged. Again, we met with them last night. The Lara Community Network group is one example. But we also need to acknowledge that there are sections of the community that are very disempowered, are disillusioned, are not engaged. And I would like to work with those communities, with the community neighbourhood centres, and find out from those people that aren't being heard what they want.
Thank you very much. Enamal Haque.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. Yeah, actually, this the northern part of the Windermere ward is had much opportunity to improve. Like every sectors, like there is some issues that people are saying that area or some service is not up to the mark, but need to improve to the make label to the other words. And I think we have to raise the community voice and also the community campaign. And this need a good connection with this government label. Also, the need to good relationship between build with this councillor and with the community peoples. And I think that's. Kylie and Sir is some mentioned the good point, and so that's we can solve this problem with some connection with the our Windermere ward and the CBD, and raise some economic boost to the industrial places of this northern part. And I think this issue can be make with this need good master planning with this with the other councillor as well as the federal government. And I think this if we can work together with this any issue arises like this any disadvantages, make the solve this raise the issue with this with the level of the more technological way we can solve this problem.
Thank you very much, Anthony Aitken.
Thank you, Mitchell. Look, there's actually a greater responsibility on you and a councillor if you actually have an area that has severe social inequality. Kylie and I recognise that. And why do we have that social inequality in the northern parts of Geelong? Well, the northern parts of Geelong have actually built the wealth that Geelong has, and traditional manufacturing jobs have actually exited. And as a consequence, we now have severe structural generational unemployment that exists within the northern suburbs. You know, frightening statistic about 18 months ago was that the unemployment rate was 21% in the northern suburbs. During the Great Depression for Australia, it was 17%. So we're actually higher than what the Great Depression was. And Kylie and I actually talk quite regularly about what are we going to do? And a project that we're working on that hasn't received significant public attention is that we've developed a project called Vital Communities. And it's actually talking that, like, I'm an accountant, so I look at underutilised assets. The greatest underutilised asset in Geelong is actually the unemployed people that actually live in the northern suburbs of Geelong. It's the greatest underutilised asset. So what you do is you invest in that asset to get a bigger return for your community. And we've developed a project which we call Vital Communities, which we've expanded to include the Whittington and St Albans areas. So it now covers Norlane, Corio, Whittington and St Albans. And what the Vital Communities project doing is it's recognising that there has been significant public policy failure in this area. It's generational, and we have to work with both the state and federal governments and other institutions like Deakin University to actually look at how we develop new ways at which to try to address the social inequality that exists in the northern suburbs. We have to do things differently than what we've done in the past 50 years because Corio and Norlane have been classified as disadvantaged for 50 years and it hasn't changed.
Anthony, that's your 2 minutes. Thank you very much. Monique Connell.
Thank you. I just echoing on from Anthony's sentiments, the northern suburbs are disadvantaged. They have been disadvantaged for such a long time that people have started to lose hope. And, you know, 20% unemployment is absolutely atrocious. And I think we have a unique opportunity to build a stronger and more connected community. And the keystone to that is education. And I'm not talking about your bricks and mortar school education. There are so many of the youth who've become disengaged with education. They've become disengaged through the COVID system. We're going to end up with a whole generation of students who essentially have dropped out at year 8 level. And we need to re-engage that youth. And we need to have centres. We need to bring back youth centres and bring back opportunities so that we can provide sustainable and realistic opportunities for our youth and those who are disadvantaged, not just the youth, but everyone in the north who is at a disadvantage, to be able to access jobs and meaningful jobs that are sustainable, not working in, say, for Shell in fossil fuel. They need to be jobs that are going to actually continue on And we've lost a lot of infrastructure. We've lost Ford, we've lost Alcoa. Someone said to me that the other day that, oh, that's okay because we're getting different people in because the allied health sector is booming. That's great and it's fantastic, but we still need to look at the intrinsic issues that the people of the North have. And saying, oh, you can go and work as a doctor at Barwon Health is not going to help some kid who's 19 and left school at year 9 and doesn't have any education behind them. What we need to do is provide those opportunities, and investing in infrastructure and investing in the future of our kids is the way to go forward.
Thank you very much, Monique. Our next question has come through the website and the person's chosen to remain anonymous, but they say, we've lived in Lara for many years. What is your vision for the area? Monique Connell.
So my vision for Lara is that we need to make sure that future planning and subdivision decisions are made with the understanding and the integrity of the environment that Lara is taken into consideration. So things like the green wedge, making sure that we have a gap between Geelong and Melbourne so that it just doesn't sprawl all the way through. We need to make sure that we build wildlife corridors, that we protect remnant and virgin forestation and vegetation areas. We need to make sure that we reduce flooding. Now, a Lara flood study showed us where we've gone wrong in the past and what we need to do in the future. In terms of that, if you deforest or devegetate land, you let the soil dry out, it doesn't have the ability to retain moisture and it becomes soapy and slippery and you end up with flooding. So we have a real responsibility to support the local community. And don't forget that Lara is part of the Little River and the Anarchy area. It's part of the food bowl of Geelong. Last year, agriculture accounted for $656 million of GDP. And the Windermere region is a vital cog in this. They're part of Geelong's food bowl. So we need to make sure that the effects of urbanisation and the flow-on effects of that are not so devastating that we're going to be trying to repair them for the next 20, 30 years. So I think careful planning and providing Lara residents with a beautiful rural environment that isn't tainted or destroyed by reckless planning decisions. I think that's the way forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Up next, we have Kylie Grizzleback.
Thank you, Mitchell. Great question. As a fellow Lara person, I love questions that come in relation to Lara because I could talk about it all day. Look, I think a couple of things going forward for Lara. It is a lovely aspect in which we live. It used to be rural. It's not so rural anymore. I'm sure we all live in developments that have happened in Lara at some point, but what we've got to make sure is that it's appropriate and that we aren't losing those those lovely aspects of Lara which we moved here for. And as Monique has said, the green belt is really important to stop that development coming down from the Wyndham area, making sure we still can use our Yuyangs and Serendip as the great icons they are for our northern parts. Traffic management, for those that live in Lara, understand when I say traffic management, our plan hopefully will be implemented slowly but surely. Getting the trucks out of the main road and out of Forest Road is so important. More infrastructure is required to keep up with the growth. Things like pedestrian crossings. I've been, hounded in the last couple of days, especially around there's an issue today with the train line. So the boom gates are down again. So we'd love an overpass or an underpass or something to that effect. People are really, annoyed at the lack of infrastructure. In terms of big infrastructure. I mean, that's a $160 million project, so it's not going to come overnight, but they're the kinds of things that Lara people, see every single day when they move around the town. The other thing is I've always supported our community in relation to inappropriate development. Also in terms of inappropriate, things like the goat milk farm that was supposed to be just next door to residential houses. They're the sorts of things that I will continue to support the residents on.
Thank you very much, Anthony Aitken.
Thanks, Mitchell. And look, it is a good question. Look, what we don't want in Lara is it to become like Tana and Windvale, which is just urban sprawl. what we need to protect. We have to respect that it is in a unique position in Victoria. It is a commuter city to Melbourne, so it's a great place to live if you actually work in Melbourne and you want to commute by train. We have to ensure that we have diversity of living options in that community. So we do have to have rural residential areas. We do have to have urbanised areas. We do have to have open space and opportunities that exist in that community to make sure it's sustainable. We also have to respect that it actually has significant assets already in it that the community has. Like the Yuyangs is actually the only regional park in the whole of Geelong, and I'm proud that it's actually in the Windermere ward. We actually also have a national park in Windermere, which is the Bridgman Ranges as well too. We also have Serendip, which is of state and national significance in terms of what it does for local wildlife and in particular birds. And these are assets that we have to try to protect and ensure that they're here for the future as well too, not just be something that's in an historic past that existed in Lara. What I also want to say too is that Lara is actually going to be the engine room of future jobs. The reality is there's over 20,000 jobs at Melbourne Airport. We have Avalon in Lara, which is actually has the potential to have between 8,000 and 10,000 employment opportunities over the next 7 to 10 years. So we have to manage that to ensure that the Lara community in the northern suburbs of Geelong benefits from those employment opportunities, but also that those employment opportunities are sympathetic to the environment that we actually want to have and live in Lara as well too.
Thank you very much. Sarah Hathaway.
Yeah, look, I'll be echoing a lot of what's already been said because I don't disagree with any of it. But yeah, we do need to address ongoing urban sprawl because at the end of the day, we need to eat. And if we're not growing it here, we lose jobs. It means the costs for basic goods will go up because we'll be needing to import everything that we could just as easily grow here. We do need to look at higher density housing that is affordable housing because that is how we're going to address ongoing urban sprawl. We need to build up, and that is, I guess, another issue in and of itself. And how do we do that respectfully with communities and consult with the more inner suburbs closer to the CBD? We definitely need more from Parks Victoria. I know this is an ongoing issue. There's been a lot of recent commentary about their plan not being up to scratch with what the community and councillors want. And there was some discussion last night about shared trails and the initiative for walking, cycling, connecting that all the way up to the Yuyangs. I know there's another project in Little River that people are particularly passionate about there, another shared trail. So if we can connect these up, there's potentially more jobs there too in terms of, I guess you could call it ecotourism and that kind of thing. Leave it there.
Thank you very much. Enamel Hake.
Yeah, Hamish. Yeah. Thanks for the Lara. Yeah, most of the point just other candidate arises. That's. I think we need to give support to the Lara community farmer. That's those who are facing problem or struggling with any technological support. We need to give them in any natural calamities arises in future in the Lara farmer community. And also there's some issue arises in Lara. That's during the flood. There's some problem in the water. Removing, or there's some storage system, and that's need to solve with the high engineering master plan or design this issue. Also, I think there is some problem in the Lara station car park. There need to expand because this is huge pressure from other suburb come to parking, and the need to concrete solution need to expand this area. Also, I think we can bring some more local project for the Lara community to solve the unemployment problem and creating the job. This is expanding and growing area, and I think with this lots of funding and creating new idea to raise the local project, we can help the Lara community. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you very much. Next question is through our website, and this person says, what experience do you have outside of politics which could help with this role? Listed first is Anthony Aitken.
Thanks, Mitchell, and I apologise for the slight delay there.
That's all right.
I actually have accounting qualifications and actually have too many of them. I've got a Bachelor of Commerce, a Masters of Accounting and a CPA, and regularly have to do professional development to keep all of those qualifications up to standard. But what it has done for me is it means I've actually got a really good understanding of the finances and financial responsibility that you do have. I'm currently the chair of Council's finance portfolio. Council's actually got assets of $2.5 billion. Its annual budget is $500 million. It employs 2,700 employees. You can't go in there believing that this is going to be a social club or be involved as a member of a community organisation. You actually have to understand you're running a multi-million-dollar business and there are significant responsibilities you have. So I'm really proud that my professional qualifications have actually given me a significant insight into what is required and needed in terms of the financial aspects of it. The other thing that qualities outside is that I'm actually heavily involved in the community. I'm chair of Volunteering Geelong. I am honorary treasurer of DEL, which is a not-for-profit disability enterprise, which actually was recognised as in 2013 as the most significant disability enterprise in Australia because of what it does in terms of provides employment opportunities for people with intellectual and physical disabilities. So what I bring there is a genuine interest in representing my community. I actually would still represent and be involved in those organisations if I wasn't a councillor. And I continue to use all the skills that I've learnt there in representing the community in that area to my responsibilities of being a councillor as well too. The other thing I really love is...
Sorry, Anthony, that's your 2 minutes.
I'll use them up. Thank you.
Enamel Hake?
Hi, Michelle. Thanks. Actually, I am the chemical engineer. So I have experience as the engineer and more scientific view. I have experience in professional and educational background is strong based on the chemical engineers, and also I have like experience on the based on the community leadership, like some volunteer organization like Sydney Press, and also some multicultural organization. Also, I'm member of some scientific journals, and also I involved with different universities. Did job with based on the research of. Actually, I can understand to the community local project that brings to need in or raise this issue to in writing to the Australian Research Council through the federal government, and I can able to solve the problem and implement problem of our areas, northern parts. Actually, I'm to say that this professional experience and educational background, maybe I am one of the perfect candidate. Then we can work together to improve the Windermere ward, a beautiful, livable and resourceful area for all residents, and establish as one of the best residential area in Greater Geelong. And I actually also had experience with the Deakin University, and Deakin University directly involved with the state government and federal government to writing to solve the problem. Also in collaboration working with the community, with the state and federal to improve all the disadvantages to raise the issue and also the solving problem to the state and federal government. That experience I can really understand what is the project need for the community, what the funding need to arise from the Australian federal government. That I can bring through for the community. And also this, I think if I get involved with this,
that's your 2 minutes. Thank you very much. I will go on to Kylie Grizzleback.
Thank you, Mitchell. Look, whilst professional professional university degrees are good, I don't have them. I have experience with community, and that's where I bring that strength, the community, working in the community and loving our community and understanding and being able to engage. Most of my roles that I've done in my professional capacity has been about engagement and has been about government relations. So I'm able to understand the links between community, between local, state and federal government, and how to work around those particular items. I think what we really need is people that are passionate, people that are, you know, your experience is one thing, but if you're passionate about it, you will get the experience you need. So I feel, look, I can go on all day about my experience in both my TAC world, in both my, you know, my club world, but also this is about how do you engage with your community and what do you want your community to look like. The experience that you need is about how to stakeholder engage. That's the number one opportunity that you need to have experience. And I've got experience doing that. And I think the last 3 years have really given, I've learned a lot from my fellow councillor Anthony Aiken about the budgets. I've learned a lot about how to engage with community. And look, I think that's the experience that you need going forward.
Thank you very much. Monique Connell.
Thank you, Mitchell. My experience is rather diverse. I've done everything from restoring 14th century monasteries to working at the local car wash to doing research at university through to my current role at the TAC, where I work hand in hand with the local community and allied health to support people who've been injured in car accidents. I guess my other experience, the main experience in my life that would give benefit to me as a counsellor has not come through my postgraduate degrees. Like Kylie said, it comes through your life experience and your ability to develop and maintain meaningful relationships. I'm transparent and I believe in integrity. I believe that if you stand as a counsellor, you stand for the people. You are a representative and you are the voice of the people in your ward. So what skills and abilities I will bring is the ability to engage with everyone, to listen, and that if you vote for me, you're voting for someone who is transparent, who's not there for a social engagement, as Anthony said. It's not a social club. It's not a fun, just side activity. This is a commitment that you make as a service to your community. And that's where I think I have really good skills in being able to engage with the various stakeholders, both federal, local, state, but most important stakeholder, which is the people of the Windermere ward. And I will listen to you and I will be your voice. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah Hathaway.
Yes, I'm currently employed as a union organiser in the health union, and I can certainly say we've been very busy during the pandemic period, but certainly there's a lot of experience there, sitting at the table sometimes with another party where you have fundamentally different perspectives of where you're coming from and negotiating for the best possible outcomes for the members that I'm representing in terms of workplace safety and conditions. Beyond, I guess, those 2.5 years in that professional role, I've had 8 years of organising in the community around issues that I am passionate about that have either impacted me directly or other community members, including funding for public TAFE, public health, addressing violence against women and children. I've been on more than one community picket line across Geelong, standing with local workers to address workplace safety. I think it is a fundamental right for every worker that you go to work and you go home safely, whether that's your physical safety, your mental safety, or any other aspect of that. I was also really proud to be a founding committee member of Geelong Rainbow Inc., who have continued to do fantastic work advocating on behalf of the LGBTI community across Geelong, including their annual Geelong Pride Festival, which I'm glad that Geelong Council has supported. And most recently has been advocacy around climate and getting local council to address climate. And it was months of work and lobbying that got Geelong Council to be the first in the G21 region to declare a climate emergency. And I'll continue to do that, whether elected or not. Thank you.
Thank you. We've got time for one more question. And this person says, are you issuing a how to vote? How should those voting for you fill out the rest of the form with their preferences? Listed first is Kylie Grizzlebeck.
Thank you, Mitchell. Look, I'm not necessarily issuing how to vote. What I'm saying is that, Anthony and I have been an amazing team. So I would say to vote 1, Kylie Grisbeck, and vote 2, Anthony Aiken. Look, I have heard from these candidates in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they're all very, very good. I think they're very passionate about the community. So, I'll probably trust you that that you take your position there. I love some of the things that Monique was saying. So look, I'm happy for you to fill in as long as you vote number 1 for Kylie Grisbeck. And 2 for Anthony Aiken. I'm happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony Aitken.
I'm actually going to sing from the same sheet as Kylie on this particular issue. But the only difference is I want you to vote 1 Anthony Aiken if you really think I've done a good job over the last 3 years. And I do want you to vote 2 for Kylie. Look, we're actually quite unique in the Windermere in that we've only got 2 representatives. All other wards have got 3. So you actually have to have a really strong working relationship with your fellow councillor. The other councillors are actually envious of how closely Kylie and I work together to benefit our community. And part of the reason why we have to work so closely together is that in the council chamber, you need 6 votes minimum to get something across the line. So for Windermere, you have to have a relationship that at least 4 other people will support you on issues that are brought before you. So it's actually harder. Every other ward only needs 3 other councillors to be able to do that. So I think we've got a proven track record, which is why Kylie and I should be considered 1 and 2. What I should say, I've really enjoyed the forum last night, the forum today, and the material I've seen put out over the last few weeks from the other candidates. And I would encourage the community to read all that material and have a look at the forums. I actually think we've actually been really lucky in Windermere. We've actually got 5 respectful and professional people who are actually trying to represent their community and all have qualities that should be considered in the election process. So please do that. But ultimately, vote 1 Aiken, vote 2 Grisbeck, and we can continue the work that we've been doing for the last 3 years in the city of Greater Geelong.
Thank you very much, Monique Connell.
I guess I'm echoing the sentiments of the previous 2, except I'm not saying vote 1 for either of them. I'm saying vote 1 for me, obviously. But I think it is vitally important that I'm not going to tell you, the voters, what you need to do. What I'm asking you to do is to read through all of the material, to go and have a look at Monique Connell for Windermere on Facebook, to go and have a look for Kylie, go and look at Anthony's and Huck and Sarah's. Read all of the information. Make sure you, the voter, are as informed as you can possibly be so that your vote really counts, and really think about what you want your councillors to do, how you want them to represent you. And don't take advice from anyone but yourself, I guess. So my advice to you is don't take advice, just read, be as informed as you can, and make that decision in your own time.
Thank you very much. Enamal Haig.
Hi, Michelle, thanks. I want to say that to the voter that this is the time to be tense, and obviously all the candidates want the vote 1. So I'm also asking to vote 1 for me. And also the voter need to think that's based on the professionals and educational experiences, also the community engagement, you have to think that's which candidate you have to select and you have to vote. And also I request to the voter that you have to read the statements or materials that's sent to the ballot paper or their Facebook page. They have posted, you have to read that one, and you have to think about it, so which can bring through and which can improve the Windermere wards in new and more organized way. I think if I request to voter to vote me, then I can bring with new image and new professional experience to bring the Windermere wards to one of the best region in the Greater Geelong area. And I want to reduce the bad image of the Corio and Northland area, because I'm also I think I'm a proud resident of the Corio. So it doesn't mean that we are far behind. We have to improve the system, and I request to the voter to think and select the good candidate from us. And we also work together. If anyone wins, so this doesn't matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Sarah Hathaway.
Just to be different, no, I have put out a how to vote card, which has been letterboxed across the ward and will go up on the Facebook page. Obviously asking for your first preference, but I have preferenced the two independents, Monique and Huck, and put the incumbents. I've got to count now, 4 and 5. You're making me do maths, but I've done that on the basis of looking at what the independents are standing for, looking at what the incumbents are putting out, and I've preference based on shared values and policy platforms. So as you've heard, the other candidates aren't really putting out how to vote. So that sort of speaks for itself, that no one is horse trading preferences in this ward, which you will see a lot of in the other wards where they've got, 9 or more candidates running. And I would just echo the sentiments of the other candidates that please read the material. It doesn't sound like much, but we all put a lot of work into those 300 words. It's quite hard to put everything about who you are and what you stand for into 300 words. So given there's only 5 of us, I hope you take the time and read the material and vote accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. And I'll just say on my website, there's much less of a word limit, and some candidates have certainly taken advantage of that by giving me extended statements. So you can have a look at that on mitchellsfrontpage.com. That's it for questions, but sorry to those who did put in questions that we couldn't get to, but there's time for our closing statements now. This is where the candidates will get 2 minutes to talk about something that hasn't come up through the questions yet, to reiterate why people should vote for them, or to rebut one of the other candidates, although it's been a very friendly forum today compared to some of the others that we've seen. So we'll see how much of that comes up. So listed first now is Enamel Haq.
Hi, Michelle. Thanks. So yeah, it's a big issue. That's why the people will vote me. I think I want to solve the problem of unemployment problem of our Windermere ward in the northern area, and I will bring some new idea and new projects that bring some more funding to create more job. That's I want to working through, and also I will to improve all the station car parking system to expand the area with the more concrete solutions. Also, I am working for the local farmer to solve their problem. There is technical support. Also, I want to solve the problem of the more frequent bus services in this area with the new route, and also improve the system of the footpath, and also maintain the more digitalized system of the transport system in the Greater Geelong area. I think based on this my experience, based on educational and professional experience that I have, and I'm the chemical engineer and also holding the PhD degree from University of Sydney, and also work some more project with the experience with the Deakin University, RMIT University, and with this experience, I can more understanding about the community project, and I want to engage with the community, and to listen your voice, and to listen your the problem arises with you, and always will try to communicate with all the community leaders. That's been through the more solve the more complicated problem, and always will in touch with the community in more smoothly with the online, also face to face. So this, if you want a good people or good candidate for to see as a councillor in the Greater Geelong City Council or of our Windermere ward, so please vote one for me, and hope we'll work together.
Thank you very much. Sarah Hathaway.
So I think it's fair to say that out of all levels of government, people seem to be the most disengaged with local level politics, or unaware of just how much our council is responsible for across the area. I would like to see our incoming councillors actively turn that around. I don't think it's reasonable to wait for residents to come to you with feedback on a development or other issues. Half the time people don't seem to know what is being discussed at local council level, unless there is some big scandal that hits the front page of the Addy. And where they do, people are too busy to trawl through COG's website to find minutes from council meetings and read reports. People work, we have families and other commitments. We need a system of local government that is socially just and where residents have a democratic say. That means residents having the information. It means councillors having genuine consultation with the community before decisions are made, and not presenting a plan as a fait accompli after that decision has already been made. It means absolute transparency and accountability to the residents of this ward. And it also means having integrity in how you portray yourself and your values as a councillor. That is what I can promise if elected. I have no hidden agendas. I'm not a career politician or running to build my own profile for some other gain. I'm running because Windermere Ward deserves more, and I want to work with the community to deliver it. Please put jobs, services and climate first, and vote 1 Sarah Hathaway for Windermere Ward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Carly Grizzlebeck.
Thank you, Mitchell. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on your show. One of the couple of things I'd like to touch on, what are some of the things that I'm most proud of in the last 3 years since being a councillor. You know, I think we've managed to have the issue of the goat farm squashed. We're proud that we've been able to support Hoffman Walk in Lara with ongoing maintenance. It's one of the most beautiful spots in our ward. I'm really proud to have worked feverishly on the actions out there for the Windermere ward. One of them is obviously the Northern Community and Aquatic Centre. I really hope that the community can see the actions that have been delivered for the last 3 years. I'm really passionate about listening to our community. You know, I'm a mum with teenage kids, so I understand the youth part of our community in terms of what they need, in terms of some of the issues that are happening with them, especially during the COVID period, has been really difficult. I think what you need from your councillor is the ability to listen, the ability to compromise, advocate and negotiate. You know, being only 2 councillors in this ward, you need to have those skills. You need to have those skills because you have to deal with all persuasions of government in terms of political parties, in terms of you know, beliefs, etc. So you need to be able to negotiate. We need councillors that are going to really understand and be able to work with anyone across the spectrum. I have the team building skills, the communication skills. I'm about consensus. I'm not about division. I've got the values that you require as a councillor. One of the things is I'm absolutely not on a political journey. This is what I'm passionate about, is being a councillor for my ward. And I think that there are some amazing candidates, and thanks everybody for being part of today.
Thank you very much. Anthony Aitken.
Thank you, Mitchell. Look, I think you have to actually establish the argument why you should have change. You know, like why wouldn't you vote for Anthony and Kylie again when you look at what Anthony and Kylie have actually done over the last 3 years? We've promised to elevate attention back to the northern suburbs. The runs are on the board to do that. Kylie's mentioned some projects. Other ones include, like, we actually rebuilt the Roseville Neighbourhood Centre, which was a $4 million project. We actually gave up to $2 million to upgrade the Cloverdale Community Centre. We invested $12 million in building the new Purnell Road childcare facility. We're starting to get some feedback at the moment, Mitchell, but Kylie and I got $2 million to upgrade safety in the local roads in Norlane and Corio. I've never seen so many speed humps being built in the last 3 months than what's actually happened in the northern suburbs. But that's all about improving the safety of our local roads, slowing cars down, taking hoon driving out of those particular community. We've supported $400,000 towards Norlane community initiatives in Spawn Avenue because that is an incredible project about asset-based and place-based development for a local community. The reality is I don't think the argument for change away from Kylie and myself has been created. And I encourage people to vote 1 Anthony Aitken and vote 2 Kylie Grizzlebeck. We are the most experienced of the 5 people that are actually standing to be your councillors. We have a proven track record. An important thing to mention is that we've established significant networks within the northern suburbs. And if neither of us are re-elected, the community has to start all over again to establish those networks with the new councillors. But There's so much more that we need to do as councillors. We've got the Northern Aquatic and Community Hub, the vital
Anthony, that's your 2 minutes.
Spoken about.
Thank you very much. We'll go down finally to Monique Connell.
Thank you. And Mitchell, thank you so much for having me and everyone else on here today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Look, I just want to, close up by saying many of us marched on Town Hall for climate change. We have been demanding this all over the world, and governments all over the world are listening. The Chinese government are committing to going carbon neutral. Boris Johnson just said today, 600,000 jobs are going to be created by making every UK household wind powered. I think council has made some good noises about admitting that we're in a climate emergency, but there's no concrete plans. There's nothing. Everything is, we will consult, we will talk, we may agree. What you need to know is that you need to vote for somebody who doesn't have any other agenda. I want to create a vibrant, safe, inclusive Geelong, and that is only going to be done through adopting climate action principles. These principles include zero carbon emissions. They include having a citizens' assembly. They include investing in the infrastructure and the technology that we require to make sure that Geelong leads the world in terms of sustainability, clean renewable energy production, recycling, and community. And if we work together, I will work with the councillors on council to be your voice, to be a person of integrity, a person of clarity, and somebody who genuinely cares about Geelong and the future of Geelong. I want my little 3-year-old girl to grow up and not be in a world where water is the price of oil. I want my little boy
Monique,
to
that's
grow up
your 2 minutes. Thank you so much. And thank you very much to all of the candidates for your contributions and for attending today's forum. We really appreciate it. Enamal Haig, Kylie Grizzlebeck, Monique Connell, Anthony Aitken, and Sarah Hathaway. That concludes our Windermere forum, but tomorrow on the program, we move closer in. We've got the Bellarine Forum and also we've got the Torquay Forum as well on tomorrow's program. So hopefully you can hang around and join us for that. But for now, we'll turn you to our COVID-19 music programming on 94.7 The Pulse.
Thanks, Mitchell.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.